Halloween is never dead. Not as long as we carry it in our hearts all the year round, and it's time to get spooky. Spooky Mulder. Look, I'm not saying that I can't draw, but I'm not saying that I can draw either. I can draw, but I can't. Basically, I think I've done some pretty good drawings before. In 2020 I drew loads, and I like to think I made a lot of progress that year. But I've never really taken the time to learn any of the basic techniques like colour, anatomy, perspective, lighting, and therefore shading. You know, all the stuff that makes a drawing technically correct and generally good. So I want to start a little project of trying to teach myself all the basics. So this week's video is a little different. It's a speed draw. This week I'm hoping Mulder and Scully can teach me how to draw, so let's get into it. I started by sketching out some Mulder and Scullys, trying to work on anatomy and also getting used to their features, getting used to drawing them.
I'm not sure about this one, boys. It doesn't even want to focus on it, it's so horrifying.
I struggle at drawing people, so it's perhaps my weakest point. I gave it a go. So I guess the technical aspect I was forcing myself to use in this drawing was perspective, mainly because that's how the drawing came to me. I didn't go too crazy with mapping it out because I wanted to start off fairly chill when I haven't drawn in a while. As a general rule, I'm better at drawing people on digital art and drawing pretty much anything else on traditional art, because with people you can resize them and do their head and their arms over and over again and really get the anatomy to at least look decent from afar, even if it's not technically correct. Maybe it was a bit of a cop-out doing cartoony people, but you know, I really am starting easy. I haven't drawn in a long time. I'm sketching a UFO, but that does not make it to the final drawing. I just gave up on it on every other step that followed after this point. It disappeared very spookily, like an X-Files case. So I got the sketch in and then I did some proper line work. In theory, I did it in green, telling myself it was another sketch layer, but we'll change that later. Scully is of course the sensible one and is holding a gun and a bunch of government documents at the same time on a casual escapade through the forest. Few different alien designs in my sketchbook, trying to decide how I wanted them to look for this drawing, and I love how they turned out. I love how Mulder and Scully turned out as well. As soon as I got the design down, I wanted to sculpt them or make them into plushies or something, so we'll see if that pans out into a future project. I love drawing noses this way. It's very over the garden wall, and when I showed my partner this, they said it was in the over the garden wall style, which wasn't necessarily on purpose. I don't think the rest of them look like over the garden wall characters, but maybe they do. The idea for this design ended up being a lot more cutesy and cartoony than I originally intended. I had this idea for some artwork for a game, one of those scavenger games maybe, where you go to different locations, collecting clues, trying to find aliens, that sort of thing. I've been playing a lot of Witchwood, which was probably a big inspiration. You will see gradients appear out of nowhere because I still don't really know how to use Clip Studio, so I was figuring it out myself when screen record was off, and then they just were done. I just blocked in some colours to try and figure out how I wanted it to look, because colour theory is yet another technical thing that I am not good at, so I can't know off the bat which colours are going to work well together. So I just wanted to get a general idea of what I wanted it to look like. I had the idea in my head, but I could never put it on the actual drawing. I blended a bunch of colours together on the forest floor because I don't want it to be a distraction, it's just background, so it doesn't really matter, and I think it came out looking decent. But I did put a few bits of earth and grass and rocks in there to liven it up a bit. I always block off layers and paint over the line art with a similar colour to what's around it. There might be a quicker way to do this, but I really enjoy it. I find it quite calming to do it this way. I'm trying different ways to do shading with each drawing I do. I started off colour picking from the sky and off blue to do most things here, but then the log and the hair, I went for a browner version, so it was closer to the colours I was shading. I don't know if it's a good way to shade things, but I think it came out looking pretty good because my expectations of myself are quite low. guess another technical aspect of this drawing I was pushing myself on was lighting. I think I really need to apply myself to a drawing that has that as a main part because it really is one of my weakest points. I tried to make it a bit easier with a very straightforward light source here. Where is the light coming from behind the Cancer Man? I don't know. Don't ask too many questions. The lighting ended up okay, I guess. It's pretty messy, but it'll do. Side note, I love how they keep calling this dude the Cancer Man because he's literally the only guy in the X-Files universe that smokes. You see a figure holding a cigarette but not their face? It's this guy. Random man in a flashback smokes? It's this guy. The tobacco industry runs on this man alone. I added a bit of hatching shading under the log because that was a sort of last minute addition there. And there we go, that's the finished thing. That's that. Let me know what you think of this kind of video. I don't know how often I'll do these sorts of things, but it is a series I'd like to get back to every now and then and improve my skills and challenge myself a little bit. It's also a bit more relaxed than making an entire thing, so it gives me a bit of a break every now and then. I'll be used to my usual fabric-based shenanigans next time. Please like and subscribe and all that crazy stuff, and remember, the truth is out there.